Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. This is the Innervated podcast, episode 66. You know, like the Jedi execution order and whatnot. If you're Star Wars fans, you will get it.
You are such a nerd.
Route 66, man.
What?
Route 66.
Route 66 is, I mean, you're literally citing from the worst trilogy ever.
Yeah, but the Order 66 is cool though. Like in the entire new trilogy of Star Wars, execute Order 66 is balls. So this is why this is
Starstone or Hearthstone? What is it?
Oh my god.
Let's go. Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone. This is a Hearthstone podcast.
Anyways,
come on.
I'm your host, Roslav Koliv, and joined by usual, joining me as usual are Sumadin Chiev and Tom, not saying his nickname. How are you guys tonight?
I'm fine, man. I've had a good weekend. New
I'm
card.
beside myself. I had to go bail my girlfriend out of jail.
I saw the
feels
tweet.
like a
She was a
reverse role.
trespasser, right?
She's a process server, so she has to serve people with "you're being sued" papers, right? And well, she was at a house that she's gone to several times trying to serve them, and she was in her car filling out the paperwork that you have to do when you do this process. And apparently, the people were home; they've just been ducking her, and they decided to call the cops on her. And they said, "Oh, she was walking around her whole property doing this." It's like, no, she walks to the door, sits there, looks around, sees if she sees any lights or any activity. Looks at the license plate, writes that down, and then sits in her car and fills out all this paperwork. And the fucking cops arrested her.
Good.
Oh,
You know how funny it is to get a call from like the county jail and it's not about you?
I have no idea, man.
I've never been arrested still, but
Nope.
No, you're still in the run. Right?
It was actually kind of funny. I went in there. I was like, "Oh, hey, wow! I've never seen you in here without handcuffs." I was like, "Yeah, I know." It's one of those things, man.
Yeah. It's fun times, but let's talk about Hearthstone, which is significantly less fun than Chiv's girlfriend getting arrested. I assume. Starting with some esports news, guys. GameGion was this weekend, and what do you know? Pavel won another thing. Not 2 weeks after he became world champion, he is now a GameGion champion as well. You know, stringing 2 back-to-back major lands in a row. Kind of vacillating start for him in the group stage, but you know, finishing with a strong playoffs run there, which kind of seems to be his theme nowadays. You know, starts shaking the tournament and then it's like, you know what, boss time, goes like this, you know, cracks his neck and you know destroys everybody. It's solid stable from the reigning world champion overall. You know,
Pavel is like the Hearthstone equivalent of Rocky. In the beginning of every fucking movie of Rocky, he's getting the living shit knocked out of him. But then at the very end, he comes through and kicks ass. Except for the first movie, because he lost. But, you know,
this is like the...
Spoilers.
Yeah,
oh, God, that movie's like 40 years old. Fuck off.
I mean, look at Tom. He's like 12. He might have not seen it yet.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, when I was watching, you know, Pavel, you know, go and win GameGion, and I thought he might actually be the... It's too early to say, but he might be the champion that's kind of a mix between Firebot and Oskaka. I know it sounds weird, but let me explain now. This is... Firebot, after winning 2014, went on having not just good competitive results, but also ended up, you know, hosting tournaments and streaming and producing content and whatnot. While Oskaka, you know, remained like a competitive purist. He would only compete in tournaments. Now, personally, I don't see Pavel actually becoming, you know, the face of Hearthstone that Firebot is now. You know, based on, you know, he's not really the most charismatic person, or as charismatic as Firebot, in my opinion. Doesn't really speak.
Most Russians aren't, so...
Yeah, he doesn't really speak English fluently, so that's a barrier there as well. But, I mean, he can just be, like, do all Firebot's achievements and think, you know, outside the box towards the game like Oskaka and just become, you know, probably the best player of 2017 if he keeps the trend going.
He doesn't really think outside the box, though.
No,
he plays mainstream decks.
Yeah.
I don't mean Tides of Time kind of thinking outside the box.
No, but it's literally the standard deck.
He plays the top decks of the meta, and he plays them well.
I think he did some quite some innovations to tempo. Well, not innovations, but some changes to tempo.
It's still the core deck.
Of course, it's still the core deck. Nobody plays weird shit, and you know those who play the weird shit at Worlds Help me out. Yeah, they did not really do well. So everybody's playing core shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I honestly think that he has an opportunity here. Like, okay, if you actually saw, like, go way, way back when Firebat first came out and he was streaming all that, he wasn't as confident as he is now, all right? And then he got some success under his belt, started getting more into the streaming, interacting more with the community, and he actually became, like, this giant social butterfly. Now he's got his own YouTube stuff going around. He's got his stream that's constant, and he's always banking a huge amount of numbers. This motherfucker might as well be printing fucking money for Cloud9.
Oh.
Just gonna say that right now. Might as well just be printing fucking money. And in all honesty, Pavel can actually hit that same thing, but he's going to have to get more comfortable with himself, and I think that's probably going to be one of the big things that's going to kind of keep him in that in-between slot of, like, Astakaka and Firebat. You know, he's got to get more comfortable in the skin, he's got to get comfortable with the exposure, and he's got to have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, why the fuck are you doing it? Mm-hmm. So, simple as that.
What do you guys think of GameCube? Because it was, in terms of broadcasting, it was kind of an improvement, but there was such huge downtime. It was absolutely horrible.
I couldn't watch it.
No, I couldn't watch it either. I tried to watch it, but the downtime bothered me so much I went out and did something else.
That downtime, it was an improvement. I'm going to say it was an improvement. It was an improvement to the degree that using gas to kill a whole lot of people was more efficient. That's about how I put it.
Oh god!
Here, like GameCube by Hitler, right?
Dude.
No, I was actually talking about capital punishment, not that.
Yeah, sure,
oh wow.
Yeah, okay.
No, actually.
Oh man.
But no, I mean that was problematic. A lot of the graphics were off throughout the casting of it, and you know, Raven and them, they tried to keep up with it. They really did.
I think nothing was in their control basically because they weren't actually at the venue, so they casted from their bedroom. So they basically piggybacked the entire broadcast, which is not ideal. Like they weren't given a clean field or anything.
Supposed to kind of be present.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they couldn't shell out like what 600 fucking euros to fly those two idiots from England to Spain.
I don't know, man.
And house them somewhere.
That's not even.
But still,
do it cheaper.
Like the final was supposed to start, and I thought, okay, let me tune in for this one then, and then they lost Pavel.
How did they lose Pavel?
I don't know. I asked Raven in this chat, hey. What's happening with the finals? In that, yeah, we may have a tiny problem. They lost Pavel. They didn't know where he is. How do you lose your finalist?
all I kept thinking is like ECOP is getting him shit drunk before the last match.
Like,
that's all the only thing that came to my mind.
Maybe he was sniffing up some RNG somewhere. I don't know. It's
sniffing up on
he had to contact his hacker to set his RNG level to 9,000.
Yeah. Calling Ben Rose.
If Russian hackers can hack Clinton emails, they can hack RNG.
Probably,
That's...
As long as you use a private account, right?
Yeah.
They are private servers.
That has stronger security than that. So.
But yeah, no, it's a shame. I really looked forward to GameCube, and the lineup was sick, but the downtime just killed it for me.
Yeah, I think I gave up watching the first day. I saw some of the games where there were like 30 minutes, downtime sometimes between games. Like, you know what? No. It's just too much. And again, I'm glad that they improved in terms of putting a lot of an actual English stream first and foremost, and then giving broadcasts to many different languages. We had, I think, 2 French streams, Spanish stream, Basque stream, Russian stream, and English stream, and a German stream as well. So really trying to spread their broadcast. Obviously, they have a long way to go when you compare them to the big major organizers, talking DreamHack or PGL or Star or what have you. I think there's a long way to go. Now, I guess I'm grateful it's not DreamHack Valencia of 2014-15 era. At least it's not that. So, but again, Spain hosted tournaments have always had this problem, I guess, and they just need to step it up. It's been an important one for them this year. And maybe 2017 will be better. At least they're improving. It's not like WCA where every year...
Baby steps, right?
They're getting worse. Like WCA, it's funny. Like you would expect any kind of organization to improve upon previous incarnations of an event. WCA is the exact opposite of this concept. They've actually degraded every single time.
We will find a shuffle that's stronger and dig us standards deeper.
No, what they do is like they're drilling down and they hope to get at the other end of the world, which is America or whatever. I'm like, yeah, we did it, guys.
Keep going.
It's literally reverse China syndrome. What the fuck?
But there were a couple of more stories at Game Gyun that develop and worth talking about. First one is Mario Della, who actually qualified, getting all the way through the finals, beating some really big names along the way, including Hoy, Life Coach, Super JJ, and Ecop, and he beat 3-1 every single series. So it was never a close series. He just almost steamrolled through the entire bracket. Obviously losing to Pavel in the end, but huge underdog story for Mario Della here, and they're kind of strengthening the Spanish scene, which has had some great results this year, with AK Wonder winning Katowice at the start, then Evangelion winning DreamHack Valencia. I think Game Gyun was also won. I think Jacobo won the last Game Gyun, and now we have Mario Della in the final. So really, we don't really talk about Spain as a competitive Hearthstone scene. We just like, oh, Spain, oh, AK Wonder, and that's it. But it's totally not, as we saw. There are pretty good players in Spain.
Oh, yeah, they're good players. They're just not getting the exposure that they really should. I mean, hopefully we're going to see more of them popping up at the DreamHacks and maybe even at the seat stores and shit like that. That would be a great way of getting more exposure for it. But we need more of those events, to be perfectly honest.
I'll still stick to my old saying of one result is not performance. Well, and now Pavel have had 2 great ones, so we can actually say he has a great performance. But again, we've seen lots of qualifiers that managed to get this close once and then is never seen again. So
yeah, you had Fire in the True Silver Championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of a living joke still, but
oh no, if you actually knew Fire, you'd understand why I'm laughing so hard about that. And I'm still laughing about it.
Great. Anyhow, I think there's something with home ground advantage here for Spanish people or something, because yeah, she said Evangelion winning DreamHack Valencia, and now we see at Game Gyun that they're actually weren't there 3 Spanish people in the semifinals?
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah. No, it was. AK Wonder went far, I think, in the semifinals. And then Mario Della in the finals. Yeah, those 2 were the Spaniards. In the
of those 2.
Yeah.
Still, it's quite impressive. But to say that Spain is like a very underrated country, I don't know.
It's pretty well rated, I think, at the moment. Right? I think that their biggest problem is, Chief said that they're not getting too much exposure, but just that's because they don't travel to events outside Spain that often. Like you see DreamHack Valencia, it will be full of Spanish players, but they do not go even to like DreamHack, France or whatever. They just don't go there. The Hearthstone Festival. They don't.
So it's the attitude.
What?
So it's the attitude.
Yeah.
So what's the game?
Either attitude or lack of finances. That's a pretty big one too, right? Like,
they're not the richest country.
Yeah, they're not the richest country.
They are actually in deep debt. So
I don't know if I'm trying to think of another country you can compare Spain with. Maybe even the Netherlands. Like you have one very good player, which we have Thijs, and Spain has AK Wonder, and the rest, you sometimes see them pop up somewhere, like Vortex in the past, and
yeah, it's like
Dutch
the
boy.
UK basically, right? Even though but even UK actually they don't really have a headlining name.
No.
Like Spain as well. They have a lot of.
What do you mean? Blackout is the best player,
Blackout
man. Come on.
Right.
Oh, if you're gonna say anybody, wait, is Jackie Chan from the UK? Yes,
yeah.
He is. Yeah, that's who I would say is your headliner right there.
No, he's not your headliner. He's
I didn't say he was a great competitive player. I said he was your fucking headliner.
Yeah,
totally different thing.
And that's the problem.
Oh well.
But it's more like Spain is like France, I guess, or Belgium, like where they have one standout player, and everybody else is like just a tier below. Or, but it's still good competitors. We'll have to see more of Spain, I guess, to rate it somewhere in the high of the Europe rankings, I guess.
Wait.
Germany is still out there, I think, leading
Oh,
the charge.
on the top.
Yeah.
100%.
But the other story, a bit of a negative one, is like Thais guys is continuing to struggle. Like he returned from the BlizzCon World Championship, and Tom, you actually interviewed him there, and he said, I want to recover and whatnot. He was feeling better when you interviewed him, I believe. And then he had another interview with his own team, with G2 Esports, coming into Gengion, and he said, I have something to prove to myself. He actually had some pretty decent results in the Celestial Invitational. He exited out of the groups, it's confirmed, and I was looking forward to, this proving to himself, this redemption story, because of all the redemption stories that we got out this year, Thais is still unfinished, right? He's been a down streak for the entire year after the Spring Championship. Poor results across the board. It's like, okay, Celestial Invitational might be the step to recovering. Game Gyun might be, the tournament that elevates him back to the Thais level. We know he can compete at. But no, another group stage elimination. And at this point, you have to ask, what's the cause for this? He's obviously not become a shit player all of a sudden. But it's also obvious he's not the Thais of 2015. We've seen misplays, brutal ones actually at the World Championship. And I've seen him in periods of slumps before when he tries to figure a new metagame. I think most notably it was after Conquest was introduced. He struggled to find how to play Conquest properly. Then it was after League of Explorers he took a break and slump at the same time. But it was never this long. It was usually 2 months maybe of bad results, and he was like, "Yep, back to Thais level." Now it's been.
I think for him, it's kind of a problem of balancing it all. He's so incredibly dedicated to streaming, and he's having so much fun there that he's having trouble of balancing with competitive play. Usually what he would do before he started streaming was play competitive Hearthstone, or rank up with the best decks, practice. And focusing on streaming, as he said in my interview as well, like you cannot do both at 100%. So one of them is gonna have to be on a lower level. And he says he likes streaming now, and he said in the BlizzCon interview that he would take it easy for the first month or two after BlizzCon. Trying to take it easy a bit more, and then full on start competing again and get back on that level. But we'll have to see it.
Do you guys think he'll follow what Fireball basically did? Go 90% streaming and then maybe compete if he gets an invite or something worth his time or whatever, and just
I don't think so, because I knew Tice before he became famous, when he was just starting to climb up those community cups and things of that nature, and I had him on my own little deck show that I did back in the day, and that man's got a lot of heart and a lot of dedication to him. But now he's got himself into a situation where he's got requirements for streaming. And as any Hearthstone player will tell you, if you're on a team and you have these streaming requirements, you've got to do them or you don't get paid. And, well, if you're going to have to do it, you might as well have fun with it. The problem when you're streaming, and I've had to explain this to people before, I'm not going to say who, but for a Hearthstone player, when you're streaming, it's not the same as playing in competitive, because you're having to interact with your chat rather than interacting with your own brain, figuring out all the results. And you can't do both overly effective. You just can't. All right? And, well, I think he needs to possibly look to cutting back the streaming a little bit to focus more attention to that competitive aspect. He needs to put more time in the analytics. He needs to put more time in the matchups and the teching and things of that nature. Because some of the deck choices that I saw him play, they were pretty much on the power curve. But, I mean, there were opportunities for certain tech advantages that he could have possibly taken that just seemed like he didn't even consider. So I don't know. Maybe it's me, but I think he's going to have to definitely rebalance it. So I'm agree with Tom 100% on this.
Yeah,
I think if we see what Firebet is said to himself, and he tweeted like, okay, it was cool being a caster at BlizzCon, but next year I'm gonna be there as a player.
Yeah.
He's streamed for a while and he's enjoying it, taking it easy, but now he feels that competitive burn again. And it's the same with Dice, right? They want to show what they can do with Hearthstone. They wanna be the best card slinger in the world, right? They have this drive. Whereas for me, I open my Hearthstone, see the quest, rank a bit, have some fun, and I'll go do something else, right? But they have this drive to be the very best at this game, and
it's just hard for me personally, and like a small confession here for me, because I've been a Thais fan since before he was on stream, basically, right? It's not a secret. And it's also no secret that I don't watch streams, and I'm an esports purist. So I see streams as the place where competitive careers go to die, right? Sure, you become more sustainable by streaming, but in terms of results, there hasn't been a single streamer that has gone from actively competing to actively streaming and keeping the same level. We've seen it with Strifecrow, we've seen it with Colento, Firebath, Thais. Just name everybody. Like, and I'm talking about like a huge interactive stream. Like, sure, RDU and Life Coach stream, yes, and they do good, but they're nowhere
not as big
near.
as Thais. Yeah,
it's nowhere near.
They're
like 10K.
Yeah, they're not as interactive. Like you could watch them. It's like, oh, I can go to sleep now.
I mean, Life Coach just analyzes his play the entire time, and RDU, if you watch his stream. He calls it the Romanian salt mine, and it's kind of funny, He's being sarcastic, but he still plays the best decks. Whereas Thais has a lot of fun with wacky decks, right? The same you see with on Kibler stream and whatever.
Well, there's so many examples, man. Like Savis also was a great player who, just his play started waning down the moment he became a popular streamer. Like every single, there's no exception, which is worried me. Like, okay, I understand why Thais is doing it. It's absolutely supportive of it. As a fan, I should, but as a esports fan, I just, oh god, I just want to see the old Thais, man, where he would show up at a tournament and is like, favorite automatically.
This is mine,
this is mine, like top 8 guaranteed, and from there, the sky is the limit. So I miss this Thais, man. This is why, like, oh come on, it's been a hard year being a Thais fan.
We might see it come back. We might actually see it come back.
I don't know in what time frame though. It could take him half a year to get back on his top level that he was.
I don't think it will be this year, Ryan. First and foremost, because he's notoriously struggled in new meta games, and a new meta game is coming in December. Also, as a streamer, you have to accentuate on playing new cool shit. So, scratch the entire December as anything competitive for Thais. Like, if there's a comeback...
Which is a good plan anyway.
Yeah, it's a good plan because there's nothing important. Like, DreamHack Winter is the one, which is this weekend.
But the set won't be out by now,
which will be the old meta game, so he might have a chance there if he's traveling there. The next one is Seesaw Cup, right? Which will be hopefully with the new expansion. But these are the entire major. So if you want to skip and do stupid shit and not focus on results, December is the way to do it.
I don't think we're going to see
HCT season again, and it's go.
I don't see Thais doing overly well at DreamHack Winter.
No, probably not.
I mean, this meta's been around for a bit. He has not been able to establish a foothold in that meta one bit, so I'm not overly optimistic for him. I'd love to see him win, but looking at everything, I put him at maybe 101.
Yeah. Well, it's for DreamHack, it's always 200 to 1 May even, so it's a brutal tournament.
But it is Thais, so I have to give him a little bit of a favoring.
Sure. Moving on to some more esports news quickly. Tempo Storm defended the Team Brawl title, the Red Bull Team Brawl, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's the Team Seal tournament that kind of takes the format from Magic the Gathering's book, brings it to Hearthstone. Tempo, in a trio of Reyna, Teluis, and VLPS, beat Liquid, which were Dog, Trump and Saviz, right? Yeah. And actually, some surprising results. First of all, Cloud9, they were Health is the powerhouse there, right? They had Firebat now, on top of Kalento and Strife, was it?
Mm-hmm. No, not Kalento.
No, Kalento, no.
Tides of Time, man.
Oh, Tides of Time, right? Yeah, of course.
And that's where it all went wrong.
Well, I didn't watch it actually. What happened with Cloud9?
Well, I didn't watch the entire event because it took hours, and I would have had to stay up until 8 a.m. in the morning or something to watch it all. And I still wanted some sleep, but yeah, basically what happened with Cloud9 is that you've had Firebat, who still has this amazing mind but hasn't been into competitive play as much. You have Strife Crow, who hasn't seen any huge result. He won one tournament this year, right?
Who? Tides?
Strife Crow.
Oh, Strife Crow. Oh, the Seal Cup, but this was way back. It's an 8-man invitation, doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But then, before that, his results go back into 2014 or something, when he had his last result. And then you had Tides of Time, who's kind of like a light switch that goes on and off in Hearthstone. Like sometimes he's really into the game, and then he's playing Dota and whatever. Exactly, and he still has a great mind in deck building, and I love his decks when he competes in a tournament. But it's kind of, these guys all have great competitive skills, but they've all become rusty. So that was the problem there, and you saw it the most with Tides of Time, who came up with plays and started executing them, finding out he didn't have enough mana to do it, and those kind of things, right? So, yeah.
Jesus, man.
That's kind of what happened.
Yeah. What were you guys' impressions overall of the? Again, I didn't see it, but what did you think about of the tournament overall? At least compared to the previous edition, because the previous edition had some issues, right? With it was a bit chaotic with all the games happening at the same time, with the whole camera switching. I don't think anybody liked it. How did they did it this time around?
Way better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But did it play games again at the same time?
No. There weren't any games played simultaneously.
Oh, that then Red Bull basically wrote it wrongly on their announcement post, because they say, oh, nothing is changing, we will play 3 games at the same time. And then I watched the VODs, and it was like 3 players sitting and just basically playing normal Conquest, but 3 people at the same time, like behind a certain computer.
No, it's not what they all said. So what happened this time is that if you had Cloud9 versus Kibler, for example, BMK, then what would happen is that each team would have there are 3 decks they created through the Seal tool, and then each deck was assigned to 1 player. Okay. And then what they would do is play 1 deck at a time against another in a Conquest format, so against their opponent. And the 2 teammates that weren't assigned to the deck would just sit alongside the player that was playing the deck and discuss.
Okay, so no simultaneous games, basically. Which is, I think, good.
Yeah, it was better, and in general, I like. It's one of my favorite tournaments in terms of ID. You get to hear what the players are thinking. They still have to figure a bit out more how they do it with hosts, because Froden was host, and he was accompanied by one of the players that was on a team that wasn't currently playing to talk about the event. But all I want to hear is the discussions between the players that are playing the game, and I don't because Froden and, for example, Safid would then analyze. Yeah, they can do this and this and this, but let's listen into the players what they have to say. Forming kind of a bridge between the 2 teams. But in my opinion, it would have sufficed if they did it a bit less, or in a different way. I don't know how they could make it more perfect directly, but it was a cool event. As I said, I like hearing what the players are thinking. So
I think a lot of people do, because it gives them insight, and a lot of people who watch these events are looking to improve their own skill set, and getting in the minds of professional players is one of the best ways of doing it. So I think maybe next time, less of this from hosts and more of this from the teams. That'd be good.
Exactly.
Also, more blue.
More blue.
We need more blue teams.
More blue
Son.
teams?
Fucking LG.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just need to get all.
But then
the-
again, almost all of our players were basically booked up all next 2.5 weeks. Jesus Christ.
Ah.
Because you had Team Liquid, which is blue. You had Tempo Storm, which is blue. You had Cloud9, which is blue. So you need more blue.
Yeah.
Yes, we need more blue. More blue.
And brown
Okay.
paper, which were all.
I would like
t-shirts.
some silver. What's the colors of G2? It's like gray, red, and black
It's
or something.
gunmetal.
Yeah,
It's gunmetal and
Oh,
red.
Great.
Gunmetal. I would love them on a tournament like this, man. That would be insane.
Let's not forget Xnavi.
Not Americans, man. So you're not getting them.
Yeah, true.
But anyways,
Savitz is European.
yeah, but it's one guy. But anyways, let's move into another topic. Heroic Brawl came, saw and conquered this week. Which of you guys played it? Stefan, tell me you played it.
No.
Come
Because
on!
Rather
I
you
am
can play it.
I am receiving education in statistics. And this mode is a tax for those who can't calculate statistics.
Mm.
Like seriously, it's not worth it by any measure.
Unless you're like one of the pros, right? That's fine.
No, I don't even think it's worth it.
I thought you guys would feel adventurous. I mean, I didn't play it
I
either.
did.
but-
Yeah, I did play.
You filthy hypocrite, man.
I actually spent money and I actually did play it.
Okay, Jim.
And what's your best record?
7-3.
7-3
Twice.
is pretty good. Okay.
That's
Not really, because okay, here's the thing. The first game was 1-3. I'm not even lying, 1-3. Like I was scouting around, watching other people playing, and I noticed a couple trends. Tempo Mage was really popular, but Shaman was extremely popular. So my fucking genius idea was, all right, let's look for something that can basically either stand on equal footing or beat them hands down. And what I came to was
Mid-range Shaman?
Hunter.
Oh.
I came with Hunter, and when I was testing it out, I was crushing both those decks left and right. The moment I got into that heroic brawl, nope.
Yeah, of course,
like seriously, like Ben Brode was sitting there going, all right, I'm gonna wait for him to spend the money. All right, -22 on your RNG, motherfucker. Oh my god, like I threw back like an 8, 7, and a 6 at one point to a 6, a 6, and a 5. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Really?
You have
Holy
hero
shit.
power, so that's...
That
Yeah,
happened
your power
twice.
goes face,
That
man.
happened
That's
twice. Like, I couldn't beat a Shaman. I beat a Freeze Mage, which
of
I
course
shouldn't
you're
have been
going
able
to
to
beat a
beat, but I
freeze mage
beat...
with a hunter, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, quite obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, without the flare, it's a lot harder. But, yeah, it was just... The match that I should have struggled the most at is the one that I crushed the most at. And the ones that I should have actually had a much better chance at, I got dominated. The next time, though, I went in with Shaman. Fucking went 7-3. Then I went in with N'Zoth Control Warrior. Went 7-3. So...
Did you play Firebats list?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the Heroic Brawl, but not because I played it, but because all of the pro players were playing out of their mind in there. It was really cool to see. The first stream I watched when it went live was Firebat, and I actually tweeted. I was like, this guy, because he was on fire, right? This guy was playing on World Championship level, and the train of thoughts he uttered, it was insane. He played around everything so perfectly. He only went like 9-3 or something in that run, but still.
He went 10-3. He got
in
10.
the first one?
No, first one he went 9. Second one, I believe he hit 10.
Yeah, I only watched the first one at night because it was quite late, but yeah, it was sick to watch, man. I really enjoyed.
Since you guys obviously watched it, you know, my next logical question is: did Heroic Brawl become what it was set on to do? You know, become the go-to streaming content and entertainment.
Like Hearthstone basically jumped to top of Twitch.
It was
Yeah,
sick.
Easily, like it was dominating. Like
Let's watch our favorite streamers throw money in a hole. That's basically what it was, though.
The
And
only
some
thing
of
that
it was me. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The thing is, it was good that it lasted for a week. It shouldn't be a permanent mode because then, you know, it was a lot of shaman, man. It was a lot of shaman, and it was, you know, at some point you're like, okay, you know, what kind of shaman build is going to be next, right? It's which tech choices does this shaman have? Because everybody was playing a deck with as many tech choices as you can. Like some people some people ran Eater of Secrets in their decks. I saw. Just to count freeze mages.
You know what's really funny? If Blizzard needed a more finite testing sample to see exactly how toxic the meta can possibly get to, I think they just created it here. Not only did they create it, they got people to pay them for the service of it. It was fucking hilarious. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but it was a cool thing to happen.
It was cool.
The best thing, they actually made a mistake launching it so closely to the next expansion because
it's the cash trap. Like
do you know how much money they're gonna make now?
They're overcharging on gold. Like if you look at how they ratio the gold price to the money price, it's ludicrous. Like there's no other service in Hearthstone where you can where you have to pay so much gold for something that otherwise costs that little money. Like it's the most expensive gold burn in the game.
It is, yeah. And but I don't think, like, from Blizzard's point of view and
this is a gold
marketing, it was brilliant because so many people spent their gold and now they're like, shit, I don't have any gold to buy packs, and so they have to buy packs with the real money, you know. So yeah.
It's pretty much
I'm doing the opposite, where actually I'm still spending cash money for the packs anyway. So, but I spent my own money like on those heroics, and then I was gonna do a fourth one, and girlfriend, who's now basically out on bail, gave me this dirty look like, you spend any more money on that fucking game, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Because she knew she was gonna get arrested, and you wouldn't have the money to get her out.
No, what it was is I was sitting here doing it while she was sitting on the couch waiting for me to finish up my game. And I finished it up, and I was like, God damn, I could do better. So let me just, like, you play one more match of that shit, and I'm going to slap the shit out of you. But it's the is that the one you're spending money on? Yeah?
Nope.
Get it. I can't lie to her. She's got more guns than I do. Fucking hell.
That's American story.
Florida never change.
Yeah, please do. Don't vote Trump.
The coin will flip to the other side next time.
Yep, pretty much.
Say now.
Let's talk. Let's go into the final topic of tonight. It's rather extensive one, obviously. It's Gadgetzan, right? It's been the talk of the office, and it will be for some time now until it launches. We've just exited Cabal week and entered Jade Lotus week, so those two factions are going to be discussed in the topic as we go into it. So I want to start obviously with the Cabal guys, because this was the second faction that we got shown after Grimy Goons, and it was, you know, on all week. So what are your overarching thoughts about the Cabal, and particularly its mechanic? It's the potion mechanic, right?
I'm gonna bastardize a quote from a French lady. Let them eat AoE. That's all I gotta say about the Cabal.
Quite right.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna find that there's a lot of AoE resistant minions coming from their friends, the Goons and
yeah.
Lotus.
Like, well, look at that. We get a cheap 5 damage AoE. What do you guys say about that? 6 drop.
6, 7, 7, and that's from the Goons.
We're not even going to talk about the Jades and the fucking golems.
Not yet.
Yeah, because, you know, I was kind of excited to see that all factions will have a common theme, right? And I kind of enjoyed the Grimy Goons one, at least in terms of design. I'm not sure how powerful it will be in actual gameplay, but it was it made sense for the faction. And now we see the Jade Lotus one. It's about, you know, summoning these Jade Golems. We're going to talk about them later in the topic. But the Cabal, with all their potions, I felt that something is lagging. I don't think there's, you know, enough synergy and consistency with the entire mechanic, because sure,
that's always gonna be the case when you have the Highlander theme. Like it's gonna be carried on the strong Highlander cards that you carry the deck. And honestly, I only think Rasa is gonna be the real one to carry the Cabal. I'm not sold on the Mage, and obviously we don't know the Warlock, because apparently because Americans are not the only one who can't figure out how to vote. So
yeah, right. Yeah, holy shit! Like everybody got apathetic. It's like, oh, it's all rigged anyway, so we don't have to vote.
Oh, yeah. No,
that was like the best art too.
If I compare the Mage Legendary to the Priest Legendary, I have to say I'm more excited about the Priest Legendary, but I think the Reno theme is gonna fit the Mage more because we already see it. Kind of there.
Lose Reno.
What?
Mage is gonna lose Reno comes.
So is Priest,
yeah.
and so is Warlock.
Yeah.
Yes, but Priest
ever really used Reno though.
We've seen some Reno Shadow Form decks, but I haven't really been, overly successful.
No, but it's still like 4 or 5 months until standard changes. So for the next
I think it's 5
chunk
months.
of the year and the upcoming big tournaments, we're gonna see more Reno Mage than we're gonna see Reno Priest.
Yeah. I mean, I like the concept of Raza. I don't think it's overly competitive though. I really don't.
You don't think so?
Okay, so look at its ability, and you start going, "Oh, wait, I can do a shadow form, fucking priest." Right?
That's not how.
Yeah,
you
but
start
shadow
bringing up
form's only
some
gonna be
cards, right? Let's put the cards as we're talking about them. Yeah, I'm going.
The real strength of Rasa is you can go the extra mile. Like you can play cards. Like I don't know if you've seen players like Reynad and others analyze 9 drops and basically say that they suck so much more than 8 drops because you can't extend your life with the hero power. That's not going to be a factor anymore. So they will be able to go the extra miles. Like obviously any priest deck in post Gadgetzan will play Ysera. That's probably pointless.
and I'll be honest, I've played a lot of priest, and Ysera's always been that weird crux thing where I need to heal, but I need this big body minion out here. So
there will be no choice. Like, first of all, every priest will be some variation of Dragon Priest. Second of all, this card allows you to not make that choice. I'd not be surprised if there's a lot of other things.
True, but you're sacrificing your consistency for this, and therein lies the biggest problem. Priest is already a very inconsistent fucking build, even with some of these new tools they got, and yeah, they are fucking great. It doesn't really solve some of the problems that they have, though.
I think the effect of Raza, it is powerful, as you say, Stefan, but you're too reliant on drawing him to make it work, right? To make your deck work with what you say, like the 9 drops, and I don't know, man.
And since you're talking about a Reno style build, that means you're having to cut out a lot of your more consistent card drawing to get to it. So
only one
consistent card draw, but
only one Power Shield, only one Northshire Cleric, one Pyromancer.
That's fine now, like, because they have I think previously Priest needed a lot of card draw because they had very limited AoE and survival options. Now they have more of them, so they can actually sacrifice consistency to make the deck become more.
They will have Kazakas to make something really powerful, depending on the choice. They will still have all the most of the dragon stuff.
True, but I mean, will it be able to survive against the most aggressive decks out there? Therein lies the question.
What will be the most aggressive deck?
Yeah,
God only knows. I mean, as I look at it, it could probably beat the shit out of Shaman.
Potion of Madness is sick card against.
Oh God, yeah.
Against fast aggro decks, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you only get one of them in that build.
Sure,
but you also get one Kazakas, which I think can be some kind of AoE, and you're probably also going to be running the Discover for Cabal, and then you have Chemist, yeah, and then you have the one that gives you a random potion. Yeah. So you have options.
The Chemist isn't Discover; it's just a random potion.
Yeah, it's
they
Cabal
also
Courier,
have
I think, or something like this.
Cabal Courier, yeah.
Probably gonna run it because there's reasonable odds you get one of the boat clears.
In theory, yeah.
But I'm actually excited about Reno Priest just based on Kazakas, Raza, and the potions we've seen, because all of the potions for Priest are ball control potions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I just honestly think it's going to be a little too. I don't think it's going to be like top tier competitive though. I mean, it's going to be a cool deck on the same way that the Resurrection Priest is kind of a cool concept, but I don't think it's going to be a top tier deck.
I think Priest is going to be like bottom tier 2, something, or maybe top tier 3.
If it's tier 2, that's still fine because it's not Priest tier. Because if you look at Reno it's not a tier 1 deck either, right? But Reno in specific situations is a very powerful deck and can work wonders. And if Reno Priest can get to the same level as Reno, which on paper it should be because it's getting all of these board removal now. Because look at it, like Reno has Shadow Flame, Hellfire, and Twisting Nether. These are just 3 AoE clears, and now they have, not just Excavated Evil, they have Holy Nova from the old set, but they also have Dragonfire Potion now.
Excavated Evil.
Yeah, I said
but you're missing one crucial element here in order to get them there. No. The one crucial element that Priest is missing that Reno Lock has available to it.
Yeah, it's card draw on tap. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And without that,
Sir
I just
Finley,
don't think you're going to see it. Oh, the Sir Finley is still it's not a consistent solution though.
Why would you play Sir Finley and change your hero power that you want to use for free? Actually, that might be a good idea. 0 mana draw a card.
Nobody plays Justicar in Warlock, right? So
yeah.
If it was that good.
Do you guys think that the Warlock Legendary will also be a Highlander oriented?
Probably.
100%.
I can't see them go for a whole Highlander theme and not give Reno Lock a fucking Highlander card. That doesn't make any sense.
Great.
So it'll probably be. We'll see.
All right.
But the thing is, they said in an interview, right? They didn't want to. They want to focus on making legendaries situational and not staples like Tyrion.
Yeah.
But that still means a specific deck rather than something that's used in literally every single.
Yeah, that's
like
what
Ragnaros and Sylvanas, more like that. And I don't.
Though they did come up with a nice counter for Sylvanas.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's not
5 mana
really
2/2.
how it works, but yeah.
The 5 mana 2/2?
It's a 5 mana 2/2 that Battlecry deal 5 damage,
yeah.
Death Rattle deal 5 damage to yourself.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah.
I think you're still better off just fireballing it with them into board, but that's just me.
That's damage I could use to your face. I'd much rather use it on your face.
All right.
One other card that was actually talked about. One other card that was actually talked about a lot was the Priest 2 drop. Now Reddit has been asking for a Priest 2 drop for the longest time, and finally we have
anything special. It's really not. Okay, like compared to the Narcissus Aspirant, it has the exact same use condition. It needs to actually survive, but not only that, it needs to survive next turn so that you can hit something that has less than 2 to 3 attack, and then you can heal it, and then it's a alright-ish Inspire effect.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem with this card is the same problem that almost every single 2-drop in the fucking game suffers from. It's called Fiery War Axe.
And basically, if you are a River Crocolisk when faced with against a 3 mana 3 damage removal spell, you're not good enough. No one has been good enough in that situation. You need more.
I think this would have been a great card if Valence Chosen was still a thing, right? Because then it grows to 4/7 and then it starts killing stuff, and then you heal it and it populates the board over and over again. But as a 2 mana 2/3, I don't see this being played at all. Like, a lot of people jump the guns like, oh shit, this is ridiculous, this is too powerful. And I know what they're envisioning is like, oh yeah, well, Pyromancer, and then Circle, and it becomes huge, like,
and
oh
then
my
I'm
God.
out of cards, and
exactly.
And then you're out of cards, and you're 1 consecration away from losing the game.
Exactly, and the problem is that many people like, oh, this is a Priest 2-drop, but you don't want to play this on turn 2.
Yeah.
You
still have Worm Rest till the next expansion, so
play fucking Worm Rest.
Exactly.
I mean, I even tried to look and see if you could play this card in the Dragon Priest, and then I started going, okay, well, what better card am I getting rid of in order to have this shit?
Oh no, you don't have space for 2 drops in Dragon Priest. You have Worm Rest and
Shadow of Pain.
You have the
Discovered Historian.
Yeah, the Historian. Yeah.
So I mean, you basically get to that situation, and it's like, at that point, do you really want to run it? Now, we're looking at it right now in what we see and what's available and all that. That's cool, fine. But Blizzard doesn't generally make cards that look really cool on paper, except they're lacking something, unless they're going to fix that in possibly a later set. So we might actually
fixing this. Like
there might be if we get a different version of like Velen's Chosen, like because we've seen them do similar. Oh God!
There's still better buff targets, but
yeah, obviously. But I just it's fine that their 2-drop is shitty kind of, right? Because the board control cards are actually insane, and this is what I want to see as a priest player, right? I want to see these strong removal cards because I love playing priest for this exact reason. I want to be super passive and greedy and then kill a lot of stuff with the single card. I don't want to play a 2-drop on turn 2. If I wanted to do that, I would play any other fucking class except priest. Like there are 8 other classes where I can play a 2-drop on 2 and feel good about myself. Mage, Hunter, Druid. No, I'm not Druid because you just ramp on turn 2. But there's so many other classes you just play 2-drop on turn 2. That's their job, not priest. Priest is about delaying, being greedy, and then winning the game from of a value, right? I don't fucking want to play a 2-drop and then try to combo it with some cute stuff. No, just fuck this. Like all of the people asking for give us a strong 2-drop. It will be great for Curvestone, but it will be shitty for Priest because it will just break the essence of what Priest is. Yeah. Priest has never in their fucking existence played a good turn 2-drop on turn 2. Never! And this is what makes the deck cool, right? It's like, let's take away from some spells from Mage and give it some more minions instead. No, nobody wants that. You're Mage, you want to burn people in the face. That's why you fucking play the class. Why do you need fucking minions for this? There are already a lot of minion-based decks and minion-based classes.
Yeah.
And if this means Priest being shitty, who gives a fuck? Really?
I don't actually think they will be.
Reddit, apparently.
Yeah, but Reddit will whine about anything. I mean, they whine about Priest being too reactive and spell-heavy, and at the same time bitching about Hearthstone being too minion focused. Like
one or the other.
It's one or the other, right? It's oh god. Anyways, Jade Lotus. Let's continue the topic. It's Jade Lotus week. Now I know we all wonder what their common theme would be, and I know, like I said, it's maybe stealth and when attacks and it kills something. Maybe that's their thing because they're assassins, and Tommy compared it to the faction where you have all 3 classes that didn't really fit together in one place, because whatever the fuck have Druid, Shaman, and Rogue have in common. Actually, somebody on Reddit suggests, it might be, mana manipulation, mana effects, because Druid rams and Shamans overload, and Rogues use the coin a lot. So there might be some mana shit there. But no, it's actually
something new.
It's something new.
It's more board building.
Yeah, it's something I'm quite excited about, even though it will perpetuate all this is minion stone all over again. So what Jade Lotus do is a lot of their cards summon a Jade Golem, and every time you summon a next Jade Golem, it's +1/+1 bigger than the previous one. So basically,
and it also
it's a scaling card.
The mana cost of the card.
It also increases the mana cost of the card. Yes. Yeah. So essentially, the more Jade Golem cards you play, the bigger the summon Jade Golem becomes. Now we've seen this on all 3 classes. Like all 3 classes have cards with this mechanic, and it can be both on minions and spells. So we've seen stuff like deal damage, summon a Jade Golem, and then summon another Jade Golem or whatever.
And a lot of them are battle cries, so you can get bonus off Bronzebeard. So
battle cries are death rattle, right?
There is one that is a death rattle. It's actually a battle cry and a death rattle.
Yeah,
so if you use
Jade Lotus boss Aya is both on battle cry and death rattle.
Yeah, and the new rogue one is death rattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So and I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised there's a common theme for the Jade Lotus after all. Like I didn't expect it to not be a common theme. Obviously Blizzard would have found something. And it's actually a pretty cool thing. We've never seen this before in Hearthstone. So yay! What do you guys think about the Jade Golem topic overall?
Like, I mean, it's one of those it's very one-dimensional. Like this will either work or it won't, because it will never receive any support past this set. And it also has no particular synergies. Like, you know, you look at the goons and, you know, there's fancy tricks with cards like Art Destroyer, and it's broken as shit, and it has potential to receive more cards, even if they are not buff cards. Maybe they're just really good at being buffed. But there's no cards that will synergize with this mechanic, so it's work or busts.
Yeah,
and
well, I think...
I'm not convinced yet. Like, we've seen a lot of cards, but we haven't really seen enough cards for anyone, not even Druid.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. The thing is that this new mechanic, the Jade Golem, is working on different things per class still, right? You have the common theme, but in Druid it's again about ramping, you know, with the Jade Blossom, summon a Jade Golem, gain an empty mana crystal. But as you said, we still need to see 4 of the 9 Druid cards, so we have to wait and see. And then you look at the Shaman. We've only seen 1 Shaman card, which is a deal 4 damage summon a Jade Golem. So that's not too much energy there. And
yeah, and the other one
sorry,
is,
two Shaman cards.
Yeah, but
one.
only one for about Jade Golem.
Yeah. And then you look at Rogue, and the Rogue one, it has only the Jade Shuriken and Aya Blackpaw, and the new 2-drop.
So
and Aya is a tri-class.
Yeah, and the tri-class one, but Rogue looks to, like, I was thinking they're trying to push an Assault Rogue with this or something, because...
Yes, but that's like...
I don't know.
That's not that much different from an ordinary Assault Rogue, in that...
Exactly.
Like, like, I looked at this mechanic, and my evaluation is... This is slow. Like, it's... Like, yes, it's very strong against... It has potential to be very strong against control deck, but holy shit, it's dreadfully, catastrophically slow, and I don't know how this is gonna work. Like, you know...
And the thing is that, you know, the Assault Rogue... The thing is with Rogues, they want one thing, and that's healing, right? Rogues don't have healing. That's what they need, still.
They can technically get it through stealing it from other classes, which this set actually gives them another
reliable. Like, Priest's the one that can do it by taking it from the deck by Discover, but that's not...
You know, they can get healing waves, I guess. But...
Like, I did some math, you know, people said, oh, it's worth it already by turn 3, but here's what they don't consider. You are already dreadfully behind by the time you have played 2 of these. Like, I did some evaluation. It seems like the value of Golem is about, like, the price you pay on average is about 2 mana, slightly less for the Druid thing, but overall it's 2 mana, but the effects are roughly 2 mana below what they should be. So that's what you pay for each Golem.
Yeah,
and it really doesn't start giving you, like, extra value till you hit, like, the 3rd and 4th one.
Exactly.
You actually need the 5th one before you even broke even on what you would expect in terms of stats from having spent that much extra mana on mediocre effects.
It's very slow, and Shaman, Druid, and Rogue aren't particularly known for the slow.
Like, I look at the Priest solution against this mechanic, and I'm thinking, okay, they play Malygos, and you literally can't answer, so you just spam a bunch of Golems, and then they play Dragon, Fire Potion, and Pyroblast the entire board. And yes, Malygos is not affected, hits a Dragon.
Yeah. That's... Wow.
And yes, it is
Priest
so
Priest
slow
is not gonna
that
run
they would allow
Malygos.
that.
Never say a Priest isn't gonna do something.
Yeah, Priest is not gonna run Malygos, I'm saying it. It's fine.
I've run Malygos and Priest before in an game that didn't work.
Firebend won a few games in a tournament with Freeze Priest. He actually won a tournament with Freeze Priest, but nope.
Like,
I'll tell you what I thought about when I saw the Jade Golem, right? Because obviously this is anti-control mechanic because it just creates, you know, minions out of thin air. So I was like, okay, there's something to keep control decks in check, right? That's cool. And then you look at the Cabal, and all of their potions are AoE damage spells. Like, okay, this is something to keep the control decks in check. So there's some, you know, contention there. And then you have the Ghouls, who's like, yep, big shit on curve. Fuck
So you just
you
play
guys.
that on curve,
Fuck
it's
you.
not gonna be effect, it's gonna be too strong for your AoE and it's gonna be too fast for your
Yeah.
golems.
And it's going to be like, oh, you know what? It's mid-range stone once again because all of the other two factions are trying something go, and the goons are just playing Hearthstone.
Yeah, but look at the three factions that are doing that. You got Warrior, which has already been doing this for quite some time. You got Paladins, who had a time when they were doing that exactly.
and very
And now
successfully.
they're getting a 2-drop
And
again,
very
so...
successfully.
Hey.
And now we've got Hunter, who technically have been doing it, but Hunters always like to, try to get that hero power in too, because it's too damn
Yeah,
fast.
It's not really. I've been playing Camel Thunder and I hero powered 3 times in the game, and it's like 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop, and then just go face, and then you just ball control the shit out of them. It's like,
And what the heck are the Lotus gonna do against that? Like, they play a 1-mana 1/1.
yeah, it summons another 1/1 on that thread.
And the next time they can play one of those is on turn 3, where they will spend 3 mana in order to summon another 2/2. Fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is
I
what
agree.
worries me, right? Because we've been saying, and other people are on this opinion as well. Again, to refer to Tom's Tyson L interview, where he said, "Oh, I felt that at one point minions became way more powerful than spells, and no, it wasn't really worth it playing spells anymore, just because they couldn't deal with the fucking minions." And now it's like the same thing all over again, right? It's cool shit, man. Jade Lotus and Cabal, you're doing interesting stuff, and at the same time, the goons will play a minion and hit you in the face while you're just like, oh, what cool thing I can chain to make these, 5/5 disappears. Well, not really now, and now take this 5 damage in your face.
Yeah, and okay, I will deal 4 damage on turn 4. Fine, my minion had 7 health and 5 attack.
Yeah, like if I have a choice between that god awful spell and Flame Wreath Faceless, which one am I going to play?
Exactly. I think from what the cards we've seen now, obviously there's still quite some cards to be released still, which can change everything all of a sudden.
Sure.
But the Jade Golem effect would be most effective in Druid because they can take it that slowly, and possibly even stall. I don't know with Pharaoh Rage for armor. I have no idea, but they could. What I see is that Jade Blossom spell. They could combine it with Fandral, for example. It's a very powerful combo as always. There's Gadgetzan Auctioneer. You put 3 1-mana spells in your deck, which is great for cycling as well. So, Druid looks to be the most powerful deck with this effect now.
And that's still not saying much because they have nowhere enough cards to make it used yet.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait.
We know the legendary, we also know that 2 of the legendaries for the Lotus is not going to be affiliated with this mechanic. We don't know the Shaman yet. It looks like it's going to be the one that's going to be revealed if people vote this time.
There's also a weapon that's associated in that. That's
Celestial spoiled that
Jade Claw, right?
Or something.
Jade Paw.
Celestial spoiled that the Shuriken would synergize with that, so it seems like it's a rogue card.
No, it's a Chinese site that said it,
Yeah,
right?
it's the Chinese side. It's not Team Celestial.
It's not Team Celestial. Okay.
No, he just translated it and he said
Okay.
like, yeah.
All right.
So,
As long as it's not going to Shaman.
It's a rogue. The claws is a rogue card from the looks of it.
Good.
I just think like Druid, like from the looks of it, again, cards can come out and get revealed and change everything, but it doesn't really look like Druid is going back to its mid-range roots. At least I see it's like, okay, I will keep playing Mali Druid. Did the solitaire kind of because even their spells now summon shit.
And I don't see why it's a worse condition than just planning 2 Arcane Giants say go, because it's like you have so low card value and Druid doesn't have the card draw to support this. You play turn 1 1/1 and then you play on turn 3 2/2, and even if you somehow manage to keep tempo, where are you gonna fish after that. Because at some point you're going to be playing your second Jade Idol, and unless you want to run out of those things, you're going to be playing it, and it does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you literally... Like, Druids is already struggling on, running out of cards. That they cycle as much as they absolutely can, and that would be my concern. That yes, it's pretty powerful when you can just draw and play a 9/9, but if that's literally all you're doing by turn 10, that's not good enough. This mechanic never has charge. It never has taunt, and anything you do to give it that is
charge. You'll have fun, man.
That will be a mechanic changer. Like give all charge. Give Jade Golem's charger down. That would be sick.
You have to shaman.
Yeah, but
No.
Yeah, but no, please don't.
No. Give it to Rogue. Fuck off.
They can give those golems stealth, but I don't think that's good enough even then.
There's something else that actually got shown with some of the newer cards that are being revealed, and it's a new cycle mechanic. The bully, the Burgly bully.
Oh yeah.
I looked at that and I was like, oh god, this is horrible. And then I started thinking, wait, we're living in a world where arcane giants are a fucking thing.
What do you mean? It's not a cycle.
That's not a cycling. It just gives you coin.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what's the one that it's 5 mana 4/4 that when if you've got a minion with 6 health,
it's the fight
promoter. 6 mana, and that's the fight promoter.
Oh, fight promoter, that's the one.
And it's 6 mana, but I think that's gonna be good, but I still don't think it's like it works with the Jade Lotus mechanic, obviously, but that's.
But here's the question: will it actually replace, say, the Azure Drake in Druid?
No, because Azure Drake works on turn 5 and. There's no way Druid. There's literally no way Druids will have that high
they don't need that many cards
by turn 6. So they just need the card draw at that point. I could see the goons using it because they can literally push their 4-drops to that level. So that's probably their ways of getting draws.
I just like the fact that we can get cheap giants out, and most of the time those giants are still going to survive with their health, and the 2-card draw is a really nice bonus.
By the time you've gotten those, but those giants are usually out after you've done your card draw. So
that is true too.
I want to shoot you guys a mini topic, kind of in the middle of the whole Gadgetzan talk, and there was a video by Reynad on his YouTube channel. Where he's discussing the tri-class cards, and he started by prefacing that first of all, a lot of the class in Hearthstone are losing their identity, or lack an identity to begin with, and he argued that having tri-class cards that can be used across 3 classes obviously further perpetuates this loss of identity that. And I kind of see his point to some extent, right? Because there are archetypes, there are decks which feel very similarly in how you play it. I'm like, for example, if you look at Na'Zal Priest and Na'Zal Paladin, even the fucking Na'Zal Warrior, they play all this, they play exactly the same. You control bar with Wild Pyro and play Dead Trials and then Na'Zal and then you win. And there are like other decks in in this kind of line of examples, right? And Reynad argues that not the classes are not as distinct as they should be, and it's kind of brought me back to a conversation I actually had with Nimj around PGL Bucharest, the ones where you and me at it, Tom, and Nimj said that we were discussing about whether or not Hearthstone will get a 10th class ever, and Nimj said no fucking way, and the devs were adamant, when talking about this in behind the scenes, like, no, we're not getting a 10th class, and they went even further, saying if Hearthstone wasn't a Warcraft game, they wouldn't even have 9 classes, right? They have fewer classes, but because it was it was a Warcraft game, they had to cover the classic 9. But realistically, the less archetypes you have, the more the less colors or classes you have, the more distinct they are. I mean, if you look at Magic, like there's nothing similar between white and black and red, right? They
there's
all
5 in Magic, right?
Yeah, this is Magic, yeah. But
but there's five colors.
Yeah, there are 5 colors, and even if you look at some more recent games that have come out, like Duelist, Duelists have 6 factions. They all play completely differently. There are no overlaps in themes, and a lot of Hearthstone pro players are trying Shadowverse now, and it's once again it's distinct classes or distinct factions, what have you. And in Hearthstone, right, there are themes shared by some class. Both Paladin and Priest have heal, and both Hunter and Druid play mid-range, and then both Rogue and Mage have burn spells and like healing. Like, surely they're not exactly the same classes, but there are themes repeating across classes, which should never be the case, right? And this is, like Rain had said, bringing tri-class cards into the mix further ties in, the classes together in these factions. Like, if Warrior, Paladin, and Hunter didn't have much in common before that, now they're all the grimy goons, and these tri-class cards suddenly make them similar with all the hand buffing mechanic, right? And further,
to a certain extent, the tri-classes have kind of gathered classes with kind of similar, I would say similar identity. Like Warriors and Paladins had a few identity issues beforehand. Warriors in Naxxramas suddenly got their own 4-mana 4/2 weapon, the Death Spite, that Paladins was previously having a monopoly on, and then they suddenly also got the what's the Shield Bear? No, not the Shield Maiden, was it?
Shield Maiden,
that is a 5/5 that gives 5
basically
health.
Guardian of Kings, right?
Yeah, so they haven't been particularly impressive in keeping the identities separate, but so in that sense, I think it's kinda. I still think that they have done better this time at keeping unique identity. Like Warriors basically do it on single target and to a certain extent on Taunt Warriors. Paladins, they just throw their buffs on literally everything in their hand at once. Everything in their hand gets buffed. And then there's Hunters that has insane synergy with it, but doesn't have quite as much buff to go with. So,
I mean, if you look at the source game that this is all based off of, there was actually quite a bit of that in there. Like, in World of Warcraft, you had different specs, and some of those specs actually shared some commonality with other classes. Like, you look at Paladin and Warrior, prime example right there.
Protection.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not unfeasible to see something like that in a card game based on this source material.
Of course.
I think some amount of that is going to exist naturally just because the source material actually dictates it does. So, while I kind of agree with Raynad about the individuality aspect of the classes, I still think you have to give some leeway here.
Yeah, like the reason Paladin and Warrior both control classes is because they are both having a history of being plagued that can just have a lot of health. So, Paladin has a shit ton of healing, Warriors has a shit ton of armor. Like, it's not like those identities could ever be taken away from the classes.
But then you still see deck archetypes that are completely viable that go completely against it, right? For example, you had the more
secrets, and
you had the more aggressive warrior with Pirate Warriors, and you had Dragon Warriors, far more aggressive decks that don't go towards the controlling mechanic. So
we've seen aggro paladins as well. I mean, but there's always different variants out there.
Yeah, so it's tough if you have 9 classes to give them all their identity. It's nearly impossible, right? Or you have to do like Wild Growth, but every expansion you get a new one. Even now we see the Jade, whatever it is,
Jade Blossom.
Yeah, the Jade Blossom, which is one mana more expensive Wild Growth that summons a 1/1. Well, great, and the expansion after that we might see gain an empty mana crystal, draw a card or something, whatever. It's
just like for me, the most exciting thing about in Hearthstone gameplay and deck design is when a class single-handedly determines or makes a certain archetype viable. And we had a couple of those. For example, if you look at Freeze Mage, you cannot play this deck with anything except Mage, right? This is the only class that enables it. If you look at Renalog, surely you can Reno decks in our classes, but Lock
It only
is
works in Warlock, right?
It's the 99%. You know what makes it works. It's the life type, right? And it's single-handedly defined by the class. If you look at Miracle Rogue, no other Miracle deck is as good as Rogue. It's single-handedly driven by Rogue's 0 mana spells and coin mechanic and prep, right? It's like again with Druid we mentioned like all these big ramp decks. They exist because Druid ramps. Like no other.
Just one.
Yeah, you cannot play a deck with 10 7-mana minions in any other class. It just won't work. So again, you know, I know it won't ever be possible to have like, okay, Druid plays this way and Mage plays this way, and they only have their unique decks, and there will always be like archetypes that just fit different classes, like the aforementioned Nuzot controls or Cthulhu controls. They just, you know, oh, you can play them with Paladin or Warrior, and it's just like a matter of personal preference, or whatever class performs better on the removal, card removal aspect. But again, it's I think there shouldn't be a balance. I think, you know, classes should actually be more defining towards archetypes than just actually having archetypes that fit multiple classes. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I like the concept of having, you know, classes suiting certain archetypes, but I'd also like to see an expansion on those archetypes. You know, and I think that's exactly what they're trying to do here with this, to be perfectly honest with you. Because we're seeing some new things, we're seeing innovations to old things, and I think that's exactly what you're going to need in any sort of game like Hearthstone in order to keep it fresh. You've got to experiment. And in matter of fact, in this expansion, they've done some of the greatest amount of experimenting of any set. And I want to tip my hat and applaud them for that, because, you know, we've all said before, like, you know, you look at TGT, it's like, wow, jousting, good job, guys. Inspire, somewhat okay. Here, they went
somewhat okay.
Okay.
But
here, they're trying multiple different ideas. They're trying multiple different approaches here. Not just, you know, we're going to gear it just to these two concept ideas, and we hope you guys will figure it the fuck out. And we learned TGT is like, nope, there was only a couple cards we really wanted. The rest of the set was a waste of fucking money. Yeah. Here, I could see a lot more diversity from what they're presenting to us. Yeah. And, of course, with the standard rotation, that diversity is going to become a mainstay for some time. So I think that's a good thing.
I also want to say that there seems to be a lot less filler among the all-neutral cards. Like, I look at the cards and I see concepts that actually work. You know, I could see where this goes and why I would play this. You know, Dirty Rat, the Deathlord 2.0. I see the fighting promoter that's basically probably going to be really strong in certain decks.
All I got to say is Hosen Healer.
Yeah, Hosen Healer.
I only have one thing, and it's the Hog Riders. You know, those.
Oh my god, those are horrible. Those are horrible.
I don't see them.
This expansion has an interesting idea of portraying certain races. You know, those things are quill boars, but they have never.
Yeah, I watched the video, The Lore of the Cards. Yes, I've seen it.
I haven't actually watched that video. I know that much about them.
Oh, it's fine.
Like badly designed versions of Rocksteady from Ninja Turtle.
Anyhow, what I think
just wait till finish, please. Okay, go.
So what I think what they might be doing here is, you know, pick 3 classes and group them up. You know, the spellcasters, the weapon wielders, and you know, the rest. And yeah, the one we don't have a common theme for. And you know, push those more into one direction first, and then maybe in the next expansion explore the class uniqueness a bit more. So you can see, like, in the next big expansion, the standard rotation, you know, more priest healing, more mage, burn, secret synergy, whatever, more paladin buffs. Divine shield is also something very paladin ish. And you know, warrior maybe focus even more on the armor gain or the taunt. You know, please no taunt.
yes, more taunt.
Oh, please no. It's
The inner hunter in you is crying with when people say taunt.
Oh yeah, hunter's one of my favorite classes. So please don't.
Stefan, you were going to say something.
It was just another comment on, like, it's an interesting interpretation of some of the races in, from Warcraft. Like, there's also that rabbit from the trailer that's on from the Lotus.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's gonna be a card, but it's a vermin, and they never look like that. They never.
They are a combination between rats and rabbits, kind of, right? They're
yes, they're
much more filthy creatures.
Yes, filthy, unintelligent creatures. Nope, this one's just a walking rabbit for some reason. And I guess that it's supposed to be that race, but holy shit, it doesn't look at all.
Now here's a question I want you guys to ponder. If they go in this direction and they start solidifying the classes, and the tri-classes actually work out pretty damn good and help go in that direction.
I don't see the tri-classes being a sticking theme, because it's kind of the gains for this expansion.
Right.
They might try, combine 3 new parents.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Would we ever see it to where they try another tri-class thing, but they would switch up the classes?
Yeah.
Would they switch up the classes where you might get priest, hunter, and let's say shaman?
Magic
all
did it,
sharing
right?
the same thing? That's a scary concept to me.
Instead of looking at Magic, I'd rather look at the WoW TCG, which literally did this all the bloody time. Like there was, like basically there was almost no card restricted to just a single class. If it was a weapon, you could probably wield it as all the magic users, or all warrior or paladin or something. Like there was very few restrictions in that regard, and I think that's why it's kind of wrong analysis, because you are not looking at the true origin of this game. If you think that the whole idea that classes share cards is a bad thing, then you're not looking at the true origin of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally on the topic, actually the one thing that crossed my mind watching Raynet's tri-class video is that, if anything, grouping neutral, enabling certain neutral minions to be exclusive to just a faction, it's actually some way to combat, the situation where a powerful neutral minion with a powerful mechanic is available to all classes. And Reinhardt gives example of Healbot, right, which gave mages a powerful heal, which gave rogues a powerful heal, and this was available to all classes. Now, if you have certain powerful neutral minion in the future, and if the tri-class topic continues and whatnot, you can just put it for one of the factions and then make it available to only a certain 3 classes. For example, if you have like a powerful minion equipped, a weapon equipped minion, you don't really want to give it to priest, for example, and give it even more removal or whatever. You just keep it for the grimy goons, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, it's powerful, it's strong, but it doesn't plague, it doesn't infest the classes that shouldn't really get it. So yeah, there's a balance in the tri-class cards, I think, but definitely good points, made by Reyna, the ones that I agree most of on most of the opinions he shared, is that, we really need the classes to be more diverse. I think somebody in chat said that, for example, priest lacks identity at the moment, right? They don't.
It has like virtually no definition.
Yeah, but it's not news. Obviously, they don't heal the best. They don't combo the best. They don't burn at all. They don't have good minions like they did. They don't ram. They don't do anything that other classes do not. Right?
The only thing, actually, that's not true. They have one gimmick that no other class does, and that's basically resurrection. That's it.
Yeah, and that could, and if they were supporting it with more than 3 cards, then it could probably be a good theme, but they haven't.
3 cards?
Yeah.
Is Bishop
They
resurrection?
kind of have. They kind of have the resurrection cards, and then they have injured Blade Master, which synergize with it.
Yeah.
But then you could also argue for injured Cavalier, right?
You could also argue for the shifting shade as well.
Nah.
No,
Any Death Rattle minion.
Yeah, pretty much.
But last question before we wrap up the show. It's been 85 cards have been shown. Well, with the last three, it's 88 cards. So around 66%, so 2/3 of the entire set has been shown.
Which means we're about to get a data dump probably Tuesday.
Yeah, it's probably anytime soon, right? At least before the end of November, I would say.
Probably next week, because this week was
So two questions. First of all, do you see a possible change of gameplay in terms of Hearthstone, like how what archetypes dominate the game?
I'm not seeing the cards that gonna put a clock on tempo yet.
No.
Like, the Cabal has some interesting ideas on how to handle it, but the thing is, in the case of Warlocks, they do just as much damage to themselves as they do to the enemy minions. So it's probably not. Like,
yeah, they give Warlocks a 7 mana 6/6 that has a built-in Hellfire, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but that's still a really risky business, and it's not gonna do.
Right, so.
It's not gonna do anything against the actual minions that's on the board at that point. So.
Well,
as for now, I think everybody's still looking at how is mid-range shaman gonna be. You're right. Is it going to be still as strong? Is it going to be weaker?
What the fuck?
And right now, I don't see anything.
It's going to be weak against some, like, mid-range shaman will be one of the weakest classes against the new removal. Like, they will just die every time. Like, if you go full on control priest to drop the whole Reno gimmick and just put in 2 of those.
All the AoE and everything.
Search some of the AoE.
Yeah, I guess. But
then you just blow up the board and win the game.
The thing is that you look at the cards now and the synergies that Blizzard is trying to push, and I don't know, man. Shaman is still gonna have a 2 mana 3/4, and what am I gonna do? Summon a 1/1 Jade Golem? Like, hey, I did it. No,
there's no 2 mana card unless you do that freely.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, it's still the problem, right? And the only thing that could, in the long term, overpower the shaman is gonna be the grimy goons with the buffs. You get a strong
goons have the right idea.
But the thing is, you have to play cards that are slightly weaker in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
You have to.
Yeah, but the goons are from classes that can usually manage that. It's like control paladins is not uncommon for them to hero power.
How is Hunter gonna?
Yeah.
Hunter has much better buff cards. They have a 2 mana 3/2 buff.
Yeah, but I mean, like okay, so you play Red Pack, right? Shaman kills your Red Pack, summons 1/1s. Hello, Maelstrom Portal, and they're back.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't play Red Pack. Maybe you stick to the Kodo. I think the Kodo will do way more than both
very
Red
possible,
Pack.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
I
a
don't
strong
think
card, but
like Hunter doesn't have enough buff cards that they will be running a lot of cards. I think they will be sticking to a lot of good cards that are good even when they don't have buff, because it doesn't seem like they will have enough buffs in their arsenal.
And again, like, we have to remember, Shaman still has Spirit Claws.
Yes, but like, it's not Spirit Claws. I don't think it's gonna be that potent against the goon stuff.
Yeah, the goons no, but Jade Lotus certainly.
Yeah, Lotus certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't AoE the weapon away.
Second question though, which of the shown mechanics so far do you like the most? Because we've seen Jade Golems and potions and hand buffing and Highlander cards and tri-class cards. What's your favorite? I'm gonna start with Chiv. What do you like so far the most?
It's all about the fapping. I mean, hand buffing. Hand buffing.
Hand buffing. Okay. Tom.
I'm scrolling through the cards now.
Oh, I thought you were fapping. Okay.
What? Not
hand buffing. Now it's referred to as fapping.
No. What I like the most the mechanic is I think the Cabal is what I'm leaning most to. The Cabal with the the Highlander type.
Mm-hmm.
Many tech choices you could put in your deck, combine them with strong effects from those legendaries. So yeah,
you're in my boat then, Cabal potions
and then have Hunter smork the shit out of
you. Stefan, what about you?
I like stuff that actually works, so I'm going with the Crimey Goons. Like, it has consistency, it has tempo, it has interesting mechanics, you know, like I like stuff like the Kodo. It may be curve stone all over again, but it's actually innovative in the way it is. And that's the thing, and that's how you're gonna fight back against the old curve decks. Like,
Yeah, I think until
you are
now,
going
like,
to have to be a new lesser evil.
Like for now, I think Dispatch Kodo is the strongest main that's been released. I agree with Stefan. It's
very possible.
very powerful, man.
But Paladin has much stronger buffs to combo with the double gangster, for example.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then Warrior has some interesting ideas. They have much stronger taunts, so there's that. If it really is so aggressive, then Goons Warrior with their impressive taunt buffs is probably gonna be a thing of nightmares for them.
Alright, we'll end the show here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, the viewers in the Twitch chat, and you guys for having me host this wonderful, wonderful show that reaches
only because you get lonely.
Well, it's just the show is all about me talking to people once a week. That's that's the only excuse. Subscribe to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Just search for Ghost Gamers Hearthstone and you will find it. Find mine, Tom's, and Stefan's work at ghostgamers.net/Hearthstone, and go follow the Chiv on his Twitch channel because he occasionally streams and produces content also.
When I'm not sleeping, which I'm about to go do.
When you're not sleeping or bailing women out of jail. Find us, give us a follow on Twitter. You can find Stefan at Sumadin. You can find Tom at Mathias. Chiv is at LG_the_Chiv, and myself at GG Nidra. Drop us a DM, follow, whatever you have it. We'll be back next Tuesday at the same time, 9 p.m. European, which is also 3 p.m. Eastern time and noon Pacific sometime. Someday I will, learn
Talk about DreamHack.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know the Hawaiian one? Man, you fell.
No, I don't know the Hawaiian one. I don't know the Arizona one, which apparently is something completely different.
Yeah, it's called Mountain Time.
Yeah, fuck this shit. But anyways, when we return next Tuesday, topic of discussion will be obviously DreamHack Winter, and I'm hoping that we'll get more details about the 2017 HCT season, right? How points will work, because DreamHack Winter will actually give points. We just don't know how many. So I'm fingers crossed. I haven't heard any rumors that this will be announced soon. I'm just wishful thinking.
I'm just gonna say it better be a fuck ton.
Yeah, I do hope that it will be a fuck ton. But again, join us next Tuesday, and until then, go endorse the Jade Lotus so we can see some more cards. See you next
That's all about
time.
the Grammy Goons.